And we are live. How y'all doing today, Cash Sports family? Once again, I am Cash from Cash Media / Cash Sports. You already know what it is, man. Coming to you guys live on a Friday, on a wonderful Friday. And it is Super Bowl weekend right now, commencing. Yes, it is Friday afternoon. I'm here to talk about some football. Probably going to stream here. I won't even say probably. I am going to stream some gaming here. Probably on my Twitch, more than likely on my Twitch. I'm still working out some things with the OBS studio. Very complicated, at least in my, from my perspective. But despite all that, let's get into this NFL honors and what's going on with the NFL because it is going to go down, right? Like and subscribe to the video. But before I do anything, before I talk about anything, cue the intro. All right. So we back at it again, man. I'm here to talk about, what's been going on with the NFL as the NFL season is about to conclude. The Super Bowl is coming up on February 12th, this Sunday, with the Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57. And I am excited about it, right? We got two great teams. These teams have been the best teams in football for a very long time, so I'm excited about it, right? But yesterday, it went down. We saw, some players get, their honors, their awards, and so that's, a huge sign that, this season is really concluded, right? So let's talk about, the players that won the awards and, kind of just get into a little information, a little detail on, why they won it. But I did make a video not too long ago on the predictions, so I was right on the money. Not that I think that I was really giving out any hot takes, to be honest with you, but I still think it was really cool, for the players that did get the awards to get the recognition that they deserve for the season that they've had. Right. So first things first, you guys see it right there from the Athletic, the notable NFL honors and awards winners is right there. Patrick Mahomes won MVP. Justin Jefferson won Offensive Player of the Year. Nick Bosa won Defensive Player of the Year. Garrett Wilson won Offensive Rookie Player of the Year. Sauce Gardner won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Geno Smith won Comeback Player of the Year. Brian Dable won Coach of the Year. D'Amico Ryans won Assistant Coach of the Year. And then Dak Prescott won Walter Payton Man of the Year. What's up, Al Money? How you doing today, man? I know you feeling good about your team. Hey, I hope you catching that Super Bowl. It's in your city. It's in your city, man. They in Glendale, Arizona. I know it's lively right now. I know it's crazy over there right now. I hope you went to some Super Bowl events. Like when they had it out here in SoFi, right here in Los Angeles. I was able to go through the Super Bowl experience, able to meet a lot of different guys, Josh Allen, Chase Young. It was a good experience, man. So if you had the opportunity to tap into that, I would definitely say, you should have tapped in. But I'm here. I'm talking about the NFL honors, and so I made a video yesterday talking about the players who are going to win these awards. I made my predictions, and I'm also going to be giving my Super Bowl prediction on who is going to win this Super Bowl, right? So if you guys have any idea who you guys think is going to win this Super Bowl, let me know in the comment section if you guys win this game. Now, like I said, I didn't think, what I said as far as the NFL honors and who was going to win these awards. I didn't think I had really any hot takes. I mean, I think all these awards were pretty much for the taking, for the people that were in competition to win the award. Oh, so you got the Eagles. Okay, all right, we're going to talk about that here in a bit. Right, so, Patrick Mahomes, one thing that I do have to point out, how Patrick Mahomes wasn't a unanimous MVP, right? So I can actually bring that up right here. Let me see. Okay, right here. Yes, I have the article right here. Yes, sir. All right, so Chiefs QB Mahomes named NFL MVP, earning 48 out of 50 first place votes. Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes was named the NFL's most valuable player at at the 12th Annual NFL Honors Award Show. Here's what you need to know. Mahomes earned the award over Eagles QB Jalen Hurts and back Josh Allen. Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson and Bengals QB Joe Burrow were the other finalists for MVP. Mahomes led the league in both passing yards, 5,200 yards, and touchdowns, 41 touchdowns, despite his top receiver from 2021, Tyreek Hill, being traded to the Dolphins ahead of the season. The Kansas City QB received 48 out of 50 first place votes. Hurts and Allen each had one. The Chiefs and Mahomes will face the Eagles and Hurts in the Super Bowl 57 on Sunday, right? So, key things to take away from this. Honestly, I thought Patrick Mahomes should have really won, should have been a unanimous MVP, in my opinion. I didn't think Josh Allen. I think it's quite crazy, to really give Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts those first place votes, not to knock those other guys, especially Jalen Hurts. I mean, Josh Allen did have a good year, but there were a lot of downs on his part going into the season, right? We know that Josh Allen has a lot on his plate, and I believe he has like 70 to 8. He scores 70 to 80% of the Bills' offensive touchdowns, right? So a lot of the success, that circulates around Josh Allen is more so due to him. Right, but that's not to take anything from Patrick Mahomes. I mean, we've seen what he did, and we've seen the productivity that he's put out there, in competition with the other guys. He definitely took some losses against Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, so that might be something that people might be holding up against him for some odd reason. But you still got to take the sample size from the entire NFL season. And Patrick Mahomes has been, by far the best quarterback in the league. It's not even without a doubt, without a question. So my thing is, I find it crazy how Jalen Hurts got that first place vote, over somebody like Joe Burrow. Like I said, not to take anything away from Jalen Hurts, but Joe Burrow has been playing phenomenal also. Really, I think they won like 10, 11 straight games up until the point when they went against the Kansas City Chiefs. So the Bengals were also on a hot run, and Joe Burrow was looking like money out there, right? He was literally just one game away from going to yet another Super Bowl appearance in just the first 3 years of his rookie contract. Right, so I mean, it's not really much to talk about when it comes to this award with NFL MVP Patrick Mahomes. Then again, winning yet another one and cementing himself as one of the greatest quarterbacks to have ever done it. Right, we even got to wait on it, man. People give a lot of people credit way early on, but you know what? Patrick Mahomes has definitely earned that award, for the taking. All right, so here's another award. We can even talk about something else, right? Offensive player of the year, Justin Jefferson, right? Justin Jefferson's been playing like money all year. Obviously, he can't throw the ball to himself. He's been having Kirk Cousins for the most part, but even then, Kirk Cousins, still had somewhat of a productive year. The Minnesota Vikings did have a winning season. They played tremendous. They played really well this year, despite those couple losses when they got blown out. But they were able to be as competitive as they are, or as they were, and that is a large part due to Justin Jefferson. This year he had a career year. A lot of people predicted that he was going to come in and have this career year, and he lived up to expectation. Every year he's gotten better. He's broken Odell Beckham Jr.'s record for the most receiving yards I believe in the first 3-4 years of his career. So Justin Jefferson is going to get paid, and we've seen receivers recently start getting the bag. Right, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, with all and even Cooper Kupp. But I think he took a little bit more of a team-friendly deal as opposed to Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. Right, but Justin Jefferson is just one of those up-and-coming receivers. He was from that particular rookie class where they were souped up when it came to wide receivers in that particular draft class. Right, but Justin Jefferson had 1,800 yards. I believe he broke the franchise record for the most receiving yards for the Minnesota Vikings. So, he gets a lot of credit for what he's done, especially that one-handed catch that he had against the Buffalo Bills, which was insane. So he deserves a lot of credit. As far as, the finalists, because I know that Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill were also in the running for Offensive Player of the Year. But you know what? I'm not going to knock it. I think Justin Jefferson, did deserve this award, and I don't think there's really much to be said, at least in this category. Right. So next up is Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa. Right. Nick Bosa has been dogging this year, also leading the league in sacks with 18 and a half sacks on the year. He's versatile. He can stop the run. He can stop the pass. Unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers weren't able to key it off, the season that they've had because due to injuries at the quarterback position. Right. They got plagued with injuries throughout the year. They were playing with four quarter. They got basically they went down to their fourth string quarterback. Right, they had four quarterbacks and they've lost damn near all of them. Brock Purdy wasn't even able to throw the ball anymore, and he had to get surgery right after that game due to his elbow. Right, but Nick Bosa, that defense has been the number one defense, has been one of the best defenses. That's a large part as to why D'Amico Ryans is now the head coach for the Houston Texans. And a big part of that is because of Nick Bosa. He's been balling this year, doing his thing. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Next one up, right? Offensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson. Right, Garrett Wilson. I'm gonna just talk about both of these guys, Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. Two rookies, right, from the same team, the New York Jets, who have been balling this year. Honestly, in my honest opinion, I felt like Garrett Wilson should have probably even had a better year if they weren't so inept at quarterback. If Zach Wilson wasn't so freaking trash, I felt like he would have had better numbers on the year, right? But with that being said, there's still going to be a lot of years for this guy to play football. It's going to be very interesting to see how the New York Jets, unravel their QB situation, because I do not see Zach Wilson staying at that quarterback position. But you know what? It's not about his bum ass. It's about Garrett Wilson doing his thing, and despite having such bad quarterback play, still being able to put up numbers in his first year. Right now, Sauce Gardner, right, been a phenomenal player this year. Probably one of the most surprising players when it comes to this season. Right, he's not only he's not only the defensive rookie of the year, he was also an all-pro corner. Yes, I'm going to say that again. Sauce Gardner was also a first-team all-pro corner in just his first year in the NFL. That's definitely a very tough thing to do when it comes to playing the cornerback position, especially in this league. Right, this league, they're throwing the ball up and down. We got so many great receivers: Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel. I probably said Tyreek Hill twice. There's so many great guys out there, and even we just mentioned Garrett Wilson, who's a young guy who was just a rookie in his first year. And let's not forget about AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, who are playing in this year's Super Bowl as we speak. Right, so Sauce Gardner, he deserves a lot of credit this year, because not only did he play phenomenal, but he played phenomenal against other great competition. And we talking about players like even Jamar Chase, locking them down, shutting them down. So Sauce Gardner is definitely probably this era's Darrelle Revis, but I'm gonna hold off on that. We gotta wait on that. But he's been playing like it so far in just his rookie year. More years to come. We gotta see what that's about, right? Next player up is Geno Smith, right? Geno Smith, the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, doing his thing. It's all, you get a lot of love and respect when you get the comeback player of the year. And he deserves it. He deserves it. For the most part, right? Geno Smith, I believe he was like top 5 in completion percentage on the year when it comes. And not to mention the Seattle Seahawks were a team that wasn't really looked at as really doing anything this year. But despite all that, they were able to still capitalize and do the things that they needed to do, still make it to the playoffs. The Seattle Seahawks also drafted phenomenally this year, and which was a huge part as to why this team was able to make the playoffs, right? So Geno Smith, is going to be interesting to see how this team goes about it, whether they're going to be whether they're going to be locked in with Geno Smith at the starting quarterback position for the long haul. But I do see Geno Smith being the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks for the next upcoming season, right? So congratulations to Geno Smith on being the comeback player of the year. Right. Next up now is Brian Daboll, right? My guy, my head coach, my New York Giants. Gotta clap it up for him, man. Did a phenomenal job. Nobody expected the New York Giants to really do shit this year. Myself included. I did not expect them to make the playoffs at the bare minimum, but they did. And not only that, they got a playoff win against the Minnesota Vikings at that. Right, and I did bet on that game. I said the Giants were going to beat the Minnesota Vikings. So how about that? I didn't believe in them before, but hey, sooner rather than later. You know what I mean? So, Brian Daboll, he definitely worked with a lot less and maximized his personnel and got the best out of his players. And so that's why he deserves a lot of credit for what he's done in recent memory. All right, so kudos to him and salute. Right. Also, like D'Amico Ryan being assistant coach of the year, right? I've kind of breezed on this a little bit before in the past. D'Amico Ryan had damn near the number one defense, one of the best defenses in the league, along with the Eagles, right? But this is about D'Amico Ryan's, right? He gotten the best out of his guys. A finger, right? Was an all-pro guy this year. Fred Warner even got the best out of his linebacker, being a linebacker himself, and even that front line just dominated. Right, dominating. And the 49ers, the reason why they've had so much success is a large part due to their defense. Right, so enough said on D'Amico Ryans. Now, next guy up is Dak Prescott winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Right, so the Walter Payton award is basically somebody who contributes, to society and does a lot of cherishable work. This isn't like a skill award. If that was the case, Dak Prescott wouldn't have won it. But got to keep it fair. Dak Prescott is, kind of like one of those PC guys. He's a very good guy, very cool. So he does deserve recognition for all the cherishable work that he has done, right? So now that I got that out the way, like and subscribe, guys. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the sentiment. Hey, show some love now. Right, so now it's time to switch it up on something else that's been going on in the league lately. Right, so if you guys don't know, Brett Favre is filing a defamation lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe, Pat McAfee, and Mississippi Auditor. So if you guys don't know what's going on, Brett Favre was basically involved in one of the biggest Mississippi scandals when it comes to welfare. Right, so apparently he was receiving money for speeches that he didn't do. He got money for to basically finance his daughter's a volleyball court, and basically, all that was welfare money. And as of right now, Brett Favre has not been charged with any crime whatsoever. So if you guys been following the story at the time when it dropped, Brett Favre's name was being dragged through the mud, and for obvious reasons, right? So because that's the story that came out, so people were talking about it, people were elaborating on it, and people were giving their opinions, right? But Brett Favre saw the need to file a defamation lawsuit against guys like Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee because he has been charged. So now his name has been dragged through the mud, or at least that's how he sees it. And honestly, I think this is pretty freaking arrogant of Brett Favre to really come out and file a defamation lawsuit against people, in the media, because all they do is talk about the story, that's reported out there. They're not coming out here and freaking, reporting it as news. The story came out. I believe it broke in TNT. Why not sue? Why not sue the media companies? Why not sue the companies that put the information out in the first place? Because when the news comes out, all people do is talk about it. All people are going to do is give their opinion. So I think this is a really arrogant situation of Brett Favre to really come out and really approach it like this in this manner. But it is what it is, man. So we're going to have to see where this goes. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? So another thing now, before I head out of here, I am gonna give my prediction here at the end. So I'm gonna do these nice little prayer. I'm gonna do these nice little player props before I give my opinion, and then after that, I'm gonna head on out of here because I'm hungry, and then I'm gonna stream on Twitch me playing Grand Theft Auto. Right, so here it is, the 2023 Super Bowl props odds best bets for Devontae Smith, Patrick Mahomes, and Miles Sanders. Right, and there's also other player props too. So I got two. Man. So there's like two. I got two links, two tabs right now. That's open. All right, so here let's tap into this one first, since I got this one up right now. All right, so the Super Bowl has more things to bet on than most fans can imagine, from the basics like the spread and total to unusual props like the coin toss and the color of the Gatorade bath the winning coach will receive. There will there are plenty of ways to play with touchdown props, and both the Eagles and Chiefs have a prolific touchdown scores. The total for the Super Bowl is set at 50.5 points, so we hopefully won't have a low scoring game. All right, so which player will score the first touchdown? All right, so I mean, are they even giving? Okay, so let's take a look at anytime touchdown prop odds. For this bet, it must be the player with the ball in the end zone. So passing do not count. For Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts to win any time touchdown bet, they have to run in for a touchdown or receive a touchdown on a trick play. In Hurts' case, that's still likely. Hurts has 13 rushing touchdowns in the regular season. Only Lions running back Jamal Williams has more touchdowns with 17. In the anytime touchdown odds on BetMGM, only Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce viewed as more likely to score a touchdown than Hurts. Kelce had a career high 12 receiving touchdowns this season, which is second most in NFL behind only Devontae Adams, 14. Right, so basically, Travis Kelce is minus 125, right? So the only person that's kind of the only person that's less than him is really the closest, or the two closest people to him, is Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts, and that's completely understandable, right? The Eagles have one of the best rushing offenses probably in football history, right? You have Jalen Hurts, who damn near broke, I won't even say damn near, he did break Cam Newton's rushing record in his first. That was Cam Newton's rookie record that Jalen Hurts broke as far as most rushing touchdowns on the year, and that is playoffs included. So for me personally, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to take Travis Kelce in this game. As far as touchdown props, anytime touchdown score, I would take Jalen Hurts also. And then you know what? I would even go as far as to take A.J. Brown also, because A.J. Brown, I know that the Eagles are definitely going to try A.J. Brown here early, and especially since especially since Jalen Hurts hasn't gotten a passing touchdown in this playoffs. So I can definitely see Jalen Hurts getting a passing touchdown in this game. If not, then he's hurt. All right, let's read more. Eagles running back Miles Sanders joins Kelce and Hurts in minus odds story for any time touchdown. Sanders had 11 rushing touchdowns in the regular season, 8th in the NFL, and has added more this postseason. What's interesting is Isaiah Pacheco ahead of Garrett McKinnon in the odds, especially even if marginally. Neither Chiefs running backs has a touchdown this postseason, although Pacheco came incredibly close on a big run in the divisional round against the Jaguars. Pacheco has led the pass-heavy Chiefs in carries in both games this postseason, and even factored in the passing game with 5 receptions against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. McKinnon is more of a weapon in the Chiefs passing game with 9 receiving touchdowns in the regular season and just 1 rushing score. Pacheco led the Chiefs with 5 rushing touchdowns, just 1 more than Mahomes, and does not have a receiving touchdown this season. As for betting on the first touchdown, the players are ordered similarly. All right, so as far as first touchdown score, man, it's hard for me to really touch up on this though. But you know what though, it really depends on who's going to get the ball. And we already know with that coin toss, curse is looking like. Whoever wins the coin toss is always the person that loses the game. So you guys gotta pay attention to that. Also, I'm definitely gonna be paying attention to it. But as far as first touchdown score, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna be that guy, and I would probably go with I'll probably go with Miles Sanders on this one. I'll go with Miles Sanders. Eagles wide receiver AJ Brown is a bit lower in the scoring. The first touchdown, Brown was one short of Kelsey's 12 receiving touchdown this in the regular season. Boston Scott, Hurts, Sanders have had 2 rushing touchdowns each. Kansas City does not have a rushing touchdown in its 2 playoff games. If you want to pick Eagles touchdown or first Kansas City touchdown, the same favorites emerge. Kelsey is the favorite for the first Chiefs touchdown, while Hurts and Sanders have the same odds at top of the list for the first Eagles touchdown. All right, so there it is. Kansas City first touchdown score. Obviously, I mean, hey, Kansas City, Travis Kelsey is obviously an easy pick to go with. But you know what? I'm not gonna knock Pacheco and Keenan, right? But I mean, but hey, man, you betting, so it is gambling at the end of the day. So it is risky. Next up, Philadelphia, right? I said I'll probably go with Hurts or Miles Sanders, but you know what? I wouldn't knock Dallas Goddard. I think Dallas Goddard is also a good pick, especially with short yardage plays. Jalen Hurts likes to go to his tight end, so I wouldn't knock that neither. Right? There are plenty of ways to bet on the Super Bowl touchdowns. Combining a player's touchdown with the winning team for a parlay. Will you be betting anytime touchdowns in the Super Bowl? What players do you like and why? Right. So even though I read that question off, you guys can tap into that and let me know in the comments section what you guys think, as it pertains to who you guys are picking for any time touchdown score, first touchdown to score the game for either team, the Eagles or the Chiefs, right? So I got another player. I got another Super Bowl props here. Best bets for Devontae Smith, Patrick Mahomes, and Miles Sanders. It's finally here, the Super Bowl and the millions of prop bets that come with it. The Chiefs and Eagles have been near the top of the NFL all season long, and they'll face off for one final time to see who comes out on top. My model currently has no edge on the game, side, or total, but luckily for us, the Super Bowl brings almost unlimited potential with prop bets, so there are no shortage of value come Sunday. First, let's talk about my process. I have the ability to derive a prop model based on my full game model. This allows me to project completions, attempts, yards, touchdowns, and basically anything that shows up in the box score. By having projections for every player in the game, I'm then able to scan all the sports books that I have access to and find where the values lie before we kick off Sunday evening. Second, let's talk about being responsible during the Super Bowl. Yes, there are a million prop bets, but that does not mean that you have to bet all of them or come anywhere close to them. Remember, bankroll management is the most important aspect when it comes to sports betting. Sure, if you want to have fun and doink off some obscure prop bets, that's all fine and well as long as you do it responsibly. There is absolutely no reason to wager more than you can afford, or where you are no longer having fun because of the risk involved. After all, this is the NFL, and Super Bowl is supposed to be the best sporting event of the year. So let's enjoy it. Let's get to it. I have a total of 13 prop bets heading into the game. Unfortunately, I didn't care for any of the prices in the MVP market, but maybe there will be some movement before Sunday. Feel free to ask in the comments or reach out to me on Twitter at AMAC or AMOC419 about any prop bets that you may be interested in. I'll gladly give you my opinion for that bet. All bets are to win 0.25 units if a favorite, risk 0.25 units if a underdog, right? So I don't particularly understand that part, but you guys can let me know. Let me know what that means in particular, right? I don't know everything. At least I'm willing to admit it. All right, so here's one thing. So best prop bets. So Patrick Mahomes under 294 and a half passing yards, minus 115. At first glance, going under Mahomes makes me feel a little uneasy, but going up against this Eagles pass rush on possibly a less than 100% ankle makes me feel a little bit better. I also think that the pass rush is going to either get home a lot, which should help keep this number down, or Mahomes is going to have plenty of scrambling opportunities. Either way, that's going to take some attempts away from some dropbacks in this game for Mahomes. My model projects Mahomes to come up about 20 yards short here, so I'll gladly take a stab and hope for the Eagles to have some success on the ground and try to keep the Chiefs offense off the field. All right, so that's one thing. Model projection 272.9 yards. Okay, so that's what they're right. So Patrick Mahomes over one interception. That's minus 105. So kind of similar to above. Mahomes is going up against a great pass rush and defense, and he's not afraid to take chances and throw into tight windows. Factor in that Eagles are an opportunistic defense as well, as their interception rate on a defense ranked fifth in the NFL this season at 3.1%. And I think this is worth a stab. Now, I definitely agree with that. I think Patrick Mahomes to have at least one interception in this game is reasonable. I think that's a decent bet. It's only one, but especially with that pass rush though too, and the Eagles do have the number one pass defense in the league, right? Jalen Hurts passing touchdowns over 1.5, right? So basically two. Minus 110. Hurts hasn't been asked to do much so far this postseason, but before he got injured towards the end of the season, he went over this number in 7 out of the 8 games. If Hurts has time to throw, there should be plenty of opportunities for him to reach the end zone with his arm. Model projection, 2 passing touchdowns this game, right? Isaiah Pacheco, right? Under 1.5 receptions plus 145. Pacheco was off a 5 reception game against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, but I think things have gotten a little bit inflated here. Prior to the last game, Pacheco failed to go over this number in 4 out of the 5 games, considering Clyde Edwards-Helaire had been activated for the Super Bowl. The running back room got a little bit more crowded, right? So they're projecting him to have 1.2 or at least one reception in this game, right? And then also, with Jalen Hurts, he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in this playoffs. So I think that's a little just to have Jalen Hurts throw for 2 touchdowns. But in order for you to win this game, especially big one against Patrick Mahomes, a player that religiously throws the ball and takes risks, Jalen Hurts is going to have to be in the same stratosphere when it comes to just being a little bit more aggressive with this offense. Now, they did point out that the Eagles are going to try to keep the Chiefs offense off the field as much as possible. So that does involve running the ball a lot. But I do see Jalen Hurts throwing the ball in the red zone potentially, maybe throwing some play action in there to throw the Chiefs defense off, right? But the Chiefs defense do have an insane pass rush themselves. Obviously I'm talking about Chris Jones, who's had a phenomenal year, and we can't forget the game that he just had in the AFC Championship game against the Cincinnati Bengals on Joe Burrow. But this is an entirely different team. Eagles have an entirely different offensive line, and not to mention they have one of, if not the best offensive line in the game. But there's potential, so look out on that, right? Juju Smith-Schuster, right? Over 3.5 receptions, minus 115. I'm not in love with this considering Juju is coming off an injury and hasn't had the best stat line in prior weeks, but he's managed to catch almost 88% of his targets since week 14 with the help of Kadarius Toney, a little cloudy. I think there are a lot of game states where Juju cruises past this number, as he's been a big boom or bust candidate for the Chiefs this season. They have him projected to get 5 receptions in this game, right? Juju, he previously played on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm glad he's in this position to be in the Super Bowl and playing with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So, Patrick Mahomes is going to be throwing the ball, right? There's no doubt about it. So I can't really fight against that. Kadarius Toney under 23.5 yards, minus 110. Speaking of Toney, I like his receiving yards under in this one. Toney has gone over the receiving total in just 3 of the 9 games with Chiefs this year. Sure, in 2 of those games, he didn't play that much because of injuries, but he's likely not at 100% for this game after an injury in the AFC Championship. Tony is another boom or bust candidate, but I'm willing to bet on limited snaps and slash or effectiveness against the Eagles. Right? Justin Watson, under 1.5 receptions, -120. Another boomer bust receiver for the Chiefs, but Watson has gone over this number just 4 times all season for the Chiefs. Yes, Tony and Smith Schuster injuries might give him a better shot here, but he's had more than 2 targets just once since week 12. Hopefully, it's more of the same on Sunday. He is projected to get at least 1 reception in this game. Right? Wow, there's a lot. So Miles Sanders. Okay. All right. That's it. All right, so Miles Sanders get over 13.5 rushing attempts. This is plus 100. Sanders hasn't played more than 40% of the offensive snaps since week 17. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Eagles have absolutely dominated the competition. Despite not getting a full snap workload, Sanders has averaged 12.5 carries over the last 4 games. I expect his snap count to trend towards his season norm and find himself in the mid-teens in the carry department. He is projected to get 15.7 rushing attempts in this game. No doubt about it. I'm not really going to argue that. Next, A.J. Brown over 71.5 receiving yards, -115. You may look at Brown's recent games and think that this number might be a little high since he hasn't topped 4 catches in any of his last 4 outings. But considering the game state that the Eagles offense has been in during the playoffs and factoring in Hurts' injury at the end of the season, and you can understand why there has been a dip. Either way, Brown has still gone over this total in 2 of his last 4 games and 3 of his 4 games prior. With the 1 game, Brown didn't go over this total. He managed 70 yards. He is projected to get 92.6 receiving yards in this game, and there's no doubt about it. I mean, I would pick A.J. Brown's yards. I mean, especially in a game like this, they are going to take risks. They are going to throw to their receivers because they know that the Eagles receivers are probably better than the Chiefs passing defense, right? And also, Devontae Smith over 4.5 receptions, -155. Some hefty juice here, but considering Smith has gone over this number in every game but 2 since week 10, there is value. In 2 games that he didn't manage to catch 5 passes, one was the massacre of the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game, where the Eagles likely didn't have to throw the ball to win the game. The other was against Packers, where he still managed 4 catches on 9 targets. The targets will likely be there, and Smith is someone that is very reliable. All right, he is projected to get 6.2 receptions in this game. All right, anytime touchdown props, you can also go with Patrick Mahomes and go with Justin Watson +600 and Devontae Smith for +150. All right, so this is the guy, man. Hey, you guys got it right here. This is the guy, A-Mock. Hey, good looking out, Void, on the thumbs up. I'm just reading that. I'm just tapping into that. But yeah, this is the guy who made all these projections. So hey, don't kill the messenger now. I'm just putting the message out there. I'm just putting the information out there. But a lot of great props, honestly. Now, if I had to choose, I'll definitely go with Devontae Smith receptions, A.J. Brown receiving yards, Miles Sanders rushing attempts. I'll go with Juju's receptions though too. Jalen Hurts is 2 touchdowns, hopefully. Patrick Mahomes interception, I think that's definitely worth a note. I'm not too convinced on the Patrick Mahomes under yards, especially if they're down. I can see them. You know, I've seen Patrick Mahomes' numbers against top 10 defenses, and he hasn't thrown an interception against top 10 defenses. But this is definitely one of the games where he could do it. Now we need to talk about who is going to win the Super Bowl, or at least who do I have winning the Super Bowl? Who is my projection? Who am I going to pick to win the Super Bowl this year? And I'm going to let you guys know now. I am going to be picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna lie, it was a hard decision for me to pick. I know, but I'm going to be going with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Now, why? First off, one, I hate the Eagles. I'm a Giants fan. I would never pick the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, right? Even though I was fighting it, even because the Eagles have such a good defense, and I love defensive teams. You know, a lot of people might speak up against a defensive game, but for me, I love watching two great defenses go at it because it makes all those offensive plays much more cherishable, right? But all that considering, I see Patrick Mahomes, his numbers against top 10 defenses. He does his thing. He does his thing. If I'm not mistaken, I can even try to find it and pull it up right here. Right, so in this season alone, the Chiefs are 4-0 against top 10 defenses. Patrick Mahomes has thrown at an average of 287 yards with 10 touchdowns while completing 70% of those passes against those four teams. Right, so those are good stats. So honestly, with that stat, that kind of helped that prop that I just mentioned there with Patrick Mahomes throwing under 290 yards against this game. So it is reasonable, especially with that stat that I considered in Patrick Mahomes. We can probably see him scrambling the ball a lot, running, trying to make plays with his feet. But key thing that we gotta look out there is his ankle. Right now, I do understand that when it comes to the Eagles, you got to be bullish in them trenches. Right, the Eagles have the best line in football. They have the best defensive line in football. So, the fact that that's one of the, if not one of the most important parts of the game, it's going to be very competitive. It's going to be very competitive for the Chiefs, right? But nonetheless, I think what's going to prevail is great quarterback play. And it's not like the Chiefs were in the position that they were when they went against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? When they went against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were missing 3 offensive linemen, right? In this game, that's not the case. Kansas City Chiefs, they've taken some injuries at the receiving spot in their skill positions. But coming into this game, I think Patrick Mahomes is definitely going to make some plays. It's really just going to come down to Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, and that's just how I see it. Jalen Hurts is going to make plays. He's more than likely going to get more than one or more passing touchdown in this game. So, but yeah, man, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I'm going with the Chiefs. I'm picking Patrick Mahomes to win Super Bowl MVP. Because I've seen this guy do great things all season long, even though I've seen the Eagles be a great team also. But, if they haven't faced great competition on the year, they haven't faced a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes all season long. Right, so I'm just keeping it honest, man. Like I said, this is just my opinion. Don't take my word for granted. If you guys have differing opinions, if you guys think differently, please let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Let me know who you guys have winning the Super Bowl. Don't be scared. Don't be shocked. So get in there, man. I'm ready to see it. So there you have it. I have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what? I'll even go as far to give you guys a score. And I would go as far as to say the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win this game 37-34. Right? So there you have it. That is my prediction. I'm glad, damn, I hit just on the mark. It's about to reach 45 minutes. And I'm glad to at least get to you guys and put that out there before the weekend starts to commence, even though it is Friday evening. All right, so I'm glad you guys were able to tune in. Like and subscribe to the video. Hit that bell, that notification button, so whenever I tap in, whenever I go live, you guys can tap in however, whenever, right? So have a great day, guys. I'm gonna make another NFL video before the weekend is due. All right, definitely basketball. But glad you guys tune in once again and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay safe, y'all, and thank you for watching Cash Media.